Is a Greyhound right for you? 26 traits. What it's really like to own a Greyhound, Part 2. Now let's break down what it's really like to have a Greyhound in your life. We're going to see what to expect from a Greyhound compared to the average dog. As we go along, let me know in the comments which of these traits are the strongest or the weakest for your dog. Now, if you don't have a dog, then as we go along, just leave comments about how important each of these traits are to you in a dog. In rating their traits from 1 to 10, 1 means less, 10 means most, with 5 being average. This isn't the same thing, however, as 1 being bad and a 10 being good. For example, a dog rating 10 for affection is good, whereas a dog who's rated 10 for aggression, well, that's bad. So, I'll help you out with a little color coding. Red is bad, green is good, just like that weather map you check on rainy days before setting out for a walk with your best buddy. Compatibility. Good with kids, good with dogs, good with cats, good with new people, good as a first dog, and good in an apartment. Well, we've already gone into compatibility quite a bit, but here's a bit more precise look at these factors. Kids, 8. Greyhounds are good with older, quieter children. Not that they're bad with little ones, but Greyhounds sleep a lot, and the rule "let sleeping dogs lie" must be taught, supervised, and enforced with your children. Both of my children grew up with a Greyhound. My son was always a bit disappointed that our dog wasn't the romp and fetch type. On the good side, he spent many content hours by the dog's side, reading and doing schoolwork. Even though my son can be difficult and animated, he was always kind and careful around our Greyhounds. My daughter was much more the perfect Greyhound child, but then she's more of a quiet child. Both kids spent a lot of time out in the yard running around with the dog and teaching him little tricks. Good with other dogs, 7. Greyhounds live their whole lives surrounded by other dogs. They're taught good pack manners by their mothers, with whom they spend most of their first year. They've never seen small dogs, however, and could view them as prey. Obviously, they do fine with other Greyhounds, but also get along well with any non-aggressive medium to large dog. They can learn to get along with small dogs as well, though. Cats, 2. Cats are another story, as described in the previous video. People, 10. Greyhounds tend to have lovely manners when meeting new people. They approach tentatively with a pleasant sway of the tail, ready to gently nose-kiss the extended hand. Until they hit age 3, though, they can be over-enthusiastic a bit. The younger Greyhound may need a bit more management to make sure he doesn't jump up on people, as they can be surprisingly tall when they're standing up on 2 legs. Good as a first dog, 10. Greyhounds were my first dog, by the way, and it was truly the perfect first dog experience. Although I'd read all I could about Greyhounds before getting Peaches, I wish I'd read ahead of time a bit more about dogs in general. Apartments, 10. Apartment dwelling is surprisingly good for Greyhounds, since they love to sleep most of the time anyway. They just need a nice, quiet place to relax. Contrary to all the references you'll hear about Greyhounds being on your couch, well, that's up to the owner. A Greyhound is deliriously happy with a plush, soft dog bed, and will spend most of his time there. In hot weather, he may stretch out on the rug to cool off, and they love fans. Wherever your Greyhound lives, he's going to need 3 walks or supervised time in a fenced area every day, totaling about an hour. So, good with kids, 8, good with dogs, 7, good with cats, 2, good with new people, 10, good as a first dog, 10, and okay in an apartment, 10. Health factors: exercise needs, overall health, grooming needs, and weight issues. Health, 8. Overall, Greyhounds enjoy robust, good health. Exercise needs, 8. As I said before, exercise needs amount to about an hour a day, which you can take care of just by taking them out for walks to do their business. Grooming needs, 1. And this is the good kind of 1. Because they have such short, sparse hair, they need really no grooming to speak of. Weight issues, 2. Their weight is easily managed as long as they're kept on a steady, basic diet. The only one of my Greyhounds who seemed to gain a little extra weight is my most recent Greyhound, Lily. The difference for her is that she does not have a fenced yard like our previous Greyhounds did. It didn't take me long to notice that she was gaining weight. You need to turn a deaf ear, by the way, to anyone who tells you your dog is too skinny. Extra weight can be really tough on a Greyhound's joints. I reduced Lily's portion slightly, and her weight quickly returned to normal. So, exercise needs 8, health 8, grooming needs 1, and weight issues 2. Fun factors: affection, energy level indoors, energy level outdoors, and playfulness. Affection at home, 8. I'd give them a 10 because they're amazingly sweet creatures, but due to their lazy nature, you usually have to go to them for affection. Someone who expects a dog to be his shadow is likely to be disappointed. We've even tried putting dog beds in all the rooms, but the dog seems to find one comfy spot and pretty much lives in it. Playfulness, 5. Now, I'm probably underestimating the playfulness level of Greyhound. They are capable of being extremely playful, but if you're looking for hours of romping with your Greyhound, you might not get what you expected. Greyhounds are bred to have short bursts of energy followed by long periods of rest. A typical Greyhound will play for a few minutes or even just a few seconds, and then he's had enough. Energy level, indoor, 1. They have extremely little indoor energy. I didn't know whether to mark this a green on the chart or a red. It kind of depends on what you're looking for in a dog. If you want the ever-vigilant guard dog type, Greyhounds are definitely in the red zone here. If, however, you'd like a quiet, laid-back, restful type of dog, then a 1 is a good score. Indoors, they enjoy biting, shaking, and tossing little stuffed animals. They also enjoy treat-oriented toys, like a Kong toy frozen with some peanut butter in it, or a treat ball, the kind where you put kibble in it and the dog just rolls it around the floor to get it to release the kibble. Energy level outdoor, 8. It'll come as no surprise that the Greyhound's favorite outdoor activity is a good romp in the yard. You'll also find that he enjoys going for walks with you. About 20 minutes, once again, is a good walk for a Greyhound. So affection, 8, energy level indoor, 1, energy level outdoor, 8, and playfulness, 5. Nuisance factors: shredding, drooling, chewing, barking, and house training. Shedding factor, 2. Your Greyhound will probably shed about twice a year, right at the seasonal weather change. For us here in New England, that means April and September. In April, the heavier winter coat, not that it's really that heavy to begin with, is replaced by a more sparse summer coat. Then when fall comes, that thinner coat falls out and is replaced by the heavier winter coat. That said, shedding is not significant, quite a bit less than what you would get with, say, a cat. Drooling factor, 6. Since some Greyhounds drool more than others, I rated them somewhere in the middle of the scale, so not as much as a lab. Lily barely drools at all. Shannon, our big male, used to leave a tidy puddle of drool on the kitchen floor whenever he was waiting for his dinner or a treat. You didn't want to find that puddle with your sock. Our nickname for him was Slime-a-Bean. When we first got Peaches, she used to leave a 6-inch puddle of drool on the floor wherever she slept. This was due to poor dental health. Once we got her mouth cleaned up, this problem was completely eliminated. Chewer factor, 8. Greyhounds love a good chew. Chewing is also an excellent outlet for anxiety and frustration. For example, every time I take away Lily's bedding to wash it, she goes right to her toy basket, takes out her chew toy, and busies herself with it until everything comes through the laundry. It's important to note that Greyhounds have extremely strong jaws, particularly some of the sturdier, larger males. It was always very humbling for me to remember that Shannon could have snapped any bone in my body like a twig with one good chomp. Not that he would have. He was gentle as a lamb. Because of this strength, though, never give a Greyhound a bone of any kind whatsoever. In seconds, a Greyhound can snap a chip off of any sized bone and swallow it with disastrous results. They have tender gums, so rawhide doesn't really work either, you know, the rolled kind, because it slashes their gums and makes them bleed. My Greyhounds have done well with natural antlers and the Benebone. Bark factor, 1. If a Greyhound's going to bark, it's usually to communicate with another dog. Most Greyhounds, though, are very quiet friends. We have running jokes at our house about the annual bark. House training, 9. Because they've lived such a regimented life previously, Greyhounds tend to do very well with house training. At first, there were a few accidents. The response, which always worked for me, was to immediately get the dog's leash, and while doing so, say firmly, without yelling, "No, not in the house, bad," while taking the dog gently outside right away. I have to warn you though, once they start going, they tend to plant themselves and finish the job, and you can't move them. It might as well be a statue. Anyway, it's best to lead the dog to a spot where you know he's gone to the bathroom before, whether he's gonna, whether he has any more to do or not. That way he'll pick up the scent and remember right away. When you bring the dog back in, you tell him to go lay down while you clean up the mess. Other than rookie accidents though, with all my Greyhounds, breaking house training like that has often been the first symptom of an illness. So shredding 2, drooling 6, chewing 8, barking 1, and house training 9. Personality: intensity, prey drive, sensitivity, neediness, intelligence, training ease, and rover factor. This is the best part. Greyhounds have the most adorable personality. They're cute, intelligent, and indescribably placid and gentle. Intensity: 5. In light of this, it may seem paradoxical to say that they have high intensity. It's true though. Greyhounds are dogs of extremes. When they sleep, it's for hours on end. When you're about to feed them, that meal is the most important thing on the planet to them. Prey drive: 8. When you're out for a walk and your greyhound sees a squirrel or a bunny, you can see that every nerve is at attention, and your greyhound will often point and begin stalking. They notice everything, and when you're walking along, they'll give you a bump or a hip check anytime they see something interesting and want to let you in on it. Sensitivity: 8. Greyhounds are not only physically sensitive, they're emotionally sensitive as well. Never yell at your greyhound. Studies have shown that yelling at a dog can produce lifelong trauma, and with greyhounds, that's even more true than for the average dog. Neediness: 7. Your greyhound may seem aloof because he naps so much of the time, but he really is very dependent on you and will miss you when you're apart. Intelligence: 8. I'd give a greyhound a 10 for intelligence if it weren't for the fact that when it comes to traffic and cars, I'm sorry, but they're truly stupid creatures. Do not, however, be fooled by studies on dog intelligence that grade the greyhound on the low side. This is because they don't always rate high for learning how to do tricks. There are a couple of explanations for this. First, the most common command, sit, usually doesn't work out that well for the greyhound. They find it awkward to sit because of their muscular build. Greyhounds also have a stubborn independence streak and simply aren't interested in learning tricks a lot of the time. Training ease: 7. That's not to say, though, that training is impossible. My family and I have enjoyed teaching our greyhounds all kinds of little tricks over the years. Shannon even won awards in the most talented category at our local greyhound adoption reunion. Rover factor: 10. This 10 is not good. It means the greyhounds have a high propensity to roam. Because they can cover ground extremely quickly, they may dash off after something and find themselves irretrievably lost by the time they stop to think. Again, never tie up a greyhound or let him go unleashed in any area that is not securely enclosed. Also, take note that a greyhound is capable of jumping like a deer, so never trust any fence under 6 feet high. So, intensity: 5, prey drive: 8, sensitivity: 8, neediness: 7, intelligence: 8, and training ease: 7. Oh, and rover factor: 10. Hey, if you'd like to see your greyhound in a background of a greyhound home care video, just let me know in the comments and I'll check out your channel. I just added a new article on keeping your greyhound hydrated over at greyhoundhomecare.com, which includes a surprise visit from Florida's pet vlog sensation Xander Greyhound and his very knowledgeable owner. Check it out or hang out with Lily and me for another video. See you over there on the Greyhound Home Care channel or website.